A stunning report was released in South Africa last week by KPMG, the well-known international consulting and accounting firm. And the report was informed by an NGO in South Africa called Sonke Gender Justice, one of those excellent NGOs. There are so many of them in South Africa. Sonke being preoccupied, as the title suggests, with questions of gender. After the report was released, I haven't revealed its contents yet, the communications specialist for Sonke Gender Justice wrote a fascinating commentary in one of the newspapers indicating, if you're ready to absorb these figures, that more than 1 million women are raped every year in South Africa, that 1,000 women are killed by intimate partner violence, that 1 child is raped every 3 minutes in South Africa, and that when they did a survey of the country asking about these questions of sexual violence, 97% of those who responded said that it was a critical and urgent issue. South Africa is now viewed as having the highest rate of rape in the world. So what did KPMG bring to this abattoir of horror? They brought an economic and financial assessment. They said that the cost, when you looked at health costs, when you looked at trauma counseling, when you looked at lost employment, when you looked at dismemberment of families, the health cost would amount to close to $4 billion a year. And yet all of the plans to counter this terrible epidemic of sexual violence are largely on the shelf. And Sonke Gender Justice is forced to engage in a major advocacy campaign to ignite a fire under the government, where President Zuma is festooned in his vast country estate dealing with the swirling charges of corruption. My God, what a distortion of priorities when you're faced with this kind of violence against women. Let me turn for a moment then to Uganda, where a National AIDS Commission report last week indicated that 570 young women and girls between the ages of 15 and 24 contract HIV every week, meaning close to 30,000 a year. What is going on in that country? The response to HIV is somewhat haywire. We've had a high-profile, should never have been high-profile case of criminalization of HIV. We have the hateful anti-gay law in Uganda. We have a discriminatory HIV law in Uganda. We have less and less interest from President Museveni. But it's not just Uganda. What about the international agencies? They got together, UNAIDS and UNICEF, 10 days to 2 weeks ago, to launch a program to deal with adolescent HIV, exactly this age range. The head of the Global Fund for AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria said that the non-response to adolescent years was a total failure. And the head of UNICEF said it was a blind spot. That's what they're calling negligence these days, a blind spot. We've known for years that the rate of death amongst adolescents with AIDS in Africa has been going up, unlike any other category of age. How long does it take to snap these agencies out of their torpor of paralysis? That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.